Stricken by grief is the common feeling of overseas Vietnamese at the news that Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng passed away on July 19.
In recent years, the party and the state, especially General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng, have strengthened activities of caring for the Vietnamese community abroad, including the intellectual community studying and working in Hong Kong, China. Through the mass media, I feel that General Secretary is a loyal and dedicated leader who always devotes himself to the development of the country and the people.
Tôi rất là may mắn có dịp được 4 lần.
I was fortunate to meet and shake hands with General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng for times when welcoming the General Secretary during his official visit to Russia in September 2018, being selected as a typical overseas Vietnamese in Russia to attend the Spring Homeland Festival in February 2019, and being present at the meeting with the General Secretary at the Party Central Committee office in Hanoi. Through those meetings, I was deeply impressed with the General Secretary's close and simple personality.
Ít nhất là 2 lần, may mắn
The people in
được
Russia
gặp
were
gỡ
fortunate
và
to
đón
have the
tiếp
General
Tổng Bí thư
Secretary
Nguyễn
visit
Phú
Russia
Trọng
at least
trong
twice.
chuyến đi thăm
During the trips,
Liên bang Nga
despite his
của
busy
Tổng Bí
schedule,
thư
the General
và
Secretary
trong
always
những
took
lần
the
đi
time to
công
meet
tác
with the
tại Liên
people
bang
and
Nga,
ask
mặc
about
dù
our
là
lives
rất
in
bận
Russia.
rộn, nhưng Tổng
After
Bí thư
answering all the
luôn luôn dành
questions,
thời
the
gian
General Secretary
để
walked
gặp
down to
gỡ,
shake hands
trao
with many
đổi
people.
cũng như là hỏi
He
thăm
even asked
về
if
tình
his
hình
answers
cuộc
were good
sống
enough.
của bà con cộng đồng
We all
người
were
Việt tại Liên
touched.
bang Nga, và chúng tôi vẫn còn nhớ.
Ho Chi Minh City received nearly $5.2 billion in remittances in the first half of the year, up 20% year on year, according to the State Bank of Vietnam Ho Chi Minh City branch. Remittances from Asian countries accounted for 56% of the total overseas remittance received by the country's largest economic hub in the period. Ho Chi Minh City consistently registers the highest volume of remittances nationwide, surpassing half of the country's total remittances. The rise in remittances to the city has been attributed to the increasing trend of working abroad, along with the recovery of the labor, service, and tourism markets in Asian countries, coupled with a stable economic and political environment in Vietnam. In the last 6 months of 2024, the Ministry of Labor, Invalid and Social Affairs will continue to improve policies and laws to synchronously develop labor market factors and focus on training human resources in semiconductor chips, hydrogen, and carbon credit human resources. The training programs are aimed at improving analytical capacity and proactively forecasting job supply and demand. Vietnam aims to invest approximately $1 billion in training 50,000 semiconductors engineers by 2030 to potentially yield indirect revenues of around $15 to $16 billion for the economy. In the first 6 months of the year, the labor force aged 15 and over nationwide was 52.5 million people, an increase of 196,600 people over the same period. The unemployment rate among working-aged people was 2.27%, unchanged from the same period last year. Ho Chi Minh City develops riverside service economy. And the beauty of Lai Da hometown village of Party General Secretary. The Ho Chi Minh City's People's Committee just issued a plan to implement the projects developing river embankments and riverside service economy in Ho Chi Minh City in 2024 to 2025 period. The project aims to promote the cultural, historical, and ecological values that create urban characteristics to increase the attractiveness and potentials for service economic development along the Saigon River. Accordingly, Ho Chi Minh City will complete a map of river embankments on the Saigon River, thereby proposing the effective exploitation and use of land resources in areas along the river. The project must ensure a balance of land resources for construction investment while improving the landscape and natural environment and responding to climate change in the area. The city will also review construction planning and land use planning along the Saigon River within the riverbank protection corridor, building an integrated database based on information from industry management projects, tourism development programs, agricultural and industrial management, and planning projects is also a crucial part of the project. Lại Đa village in Dong Anh district of Hanoi is located on the bank of Duong River, about 8 kilometers from the center of the capital city. This is one of the villages that still retains many ancient and familiar features of a northern village with banyan trees, wells, and communal house yachts. According to legend, Lại Đa village appeared at the same time as Cổ Loa Citadel. Up to now, despite many ups and downs of time, the village still retains many ancient features with typical characteristics of the northern Delta region. Lại Đa village still preserves intact its cultural space, including the communal house worshipping Nguyễn Hiền, the first laureate under the Chen dynasty, the temple worshipping the Holy Mother Tiên Dung, who assisted Nguyễn Hiền, and the pagoda named Cảnh Phúc. In 1989, the Ministry of Cultures and Information, now the Ministry of Culture, Sport and Tourism, ranked the Lại Đa architectural and artistic relic clusters as a national relic. And that's the end of today's bulletin. Thanks for your watching and see you next time.